The Grizzco weapons are the most broken, overpowered weapons in Splatoon 2. All 4 of them are unique and powerful, but since we only get to use them as often as the Great Zapfish gets taken by Octavio, most players don't even know how to use them right. Since it's been hurting even professionals' performances, Mr. Grizz asked me to make this instructional video and explain how they work. But before we get into it, I have a special message from today's sponsor. No, not Grizzco, Amino. You've probably already heard of Amino. It's an app with a network of communities including Splatoon and other Nintendo games. They're launching a new feature called Stories, which are set up in a similar format to stories in other platforms, except these ones don't go away. In addition to sponsoring this video, Amino has also sponsored my stories on the app. Today, I've launched the second episode of my Amino Stories exclusive mini-series called Boss Salmon and You, where I do Mr. Grizz's job for him and teach you everything you need to know about how each Boss Salmonid works. That includes how to use the unique mechanics of the Grizzco Slosher, a weapon I'll discuss in this video, to defeat that specific boss. I hope you check it out, link is in the description. And don't forget to follow me so that you won't miss out on the rest of the stories. I'm the one with my inkling in the profile picture. Now back to the video. The Grizzco Blaster. We can't talk about Grizzco weapons without talking about the coolest blaster in the game, the Grim Range Blaster. The Grizzco Blaster is a modded vanilla blaster that has the range of a Luna, the firing speed of a 52 gal, that's not even a blaster, and the firepower of a nerfed Clash. It's also super efficient, capable of firing 33 shots on a full ink tank. This is the Mario of Grizzco weapons. It's the most average and most popular of the 4. It works well for crowd control, taking out bosses, and running around the map. That last one was a lie. It got such a short range that if you're trying to deliver a pizza from the middle of the map to the shore, it's gonna have to be free of charge, and no, you're not getting a tip. The Grizzco Blaster struggles the most with Kohawks since they have 400 HP and the blaster only deals 50 damage per direct hit. That makes it the weakest of the Grizzco weapons when it comes to damage per shot, but it makes up for it by having the fastest fire rate of the 4. You may be wondering, is there anything wrong with this weapon? Yes, the Grizzco Blaster is very short, ranged, so you're gonna have to get all up close and personal with any salmonid you want to splat. Just beware when you run out of ink. The Grizzco Brella. This weapon looks like it was left on a hanger by its owner for a couple hundred years, and someone threw an ultra stamp at it, and then tossed it in the garbage before Mr. Grizz got to it. Does that make him a trash panda? This weapon is the Luigi of the Grizzco series. It's kinda like Mario, but slightly better. Just like Luigi is the taller brother, so does the Brella have a longer range than the blaster. Oh, and it does more damage. Oh, and it can fire more shots. This weapon is best for turf control since a few shots can get a large area covered in your ink. It's also amazing for crowd control. With 60 damage per hit and 50 shots per ink tank, this Brella can deal a total of 3000 damage per ink tank. To put that in perspective, that's twice the amount any of the others can do. It's also great for maneuvering given its long range, low ink consumption, and fire speed, same as the 96 cal. You can do this with a Grizzco Slosher even if you wanted to. The downside of the Grizzco Brella is that it doesn't have a Brella bit, unless you count that tiny little thing in the front. It kinda looks like one of those pretty paper parasols that you get on your fancy drinks at the beach. They're cute and all, but they don't protect your drink from the sun, just like this Brella doesn't protect you from salmon slaps. The Grizzco Charger. This is apparently the ugly cousin of the Bamboozler. Don't let the looks fool you. The only thing this charger has in common with the Bamboozler and smartphones is that it can't hold its charge. But it doesn't need to. The Grizzco Charger, contrary to its name, doesn't need to charge. Its shots are just a tap shot away and will do their full 200 points of damage on impact. Each shot will use 13% of your ink tank, which is fair considering that this thing has a range of an E-liter. That gives you 7 shots, and for when you're fighting a flyfish, you have 2 shots left after tossing your splat bomb. With its long range, the Grizzco Charger is pretty good at maneuvering, but not so good at getting through a crowd. That doesn't matter because this Bamboozler ain't for inking turf. It's for slaying bosses faster than Thanos can snap his fingers. Is that joke dead yet? This charger's ability to fire fast, high damage, long range attacks makes it ideal for boss hunters. Just don't get too trigger happy. Remember, you only have 7 shots. The biggest challenge of this weapon is self-control and decent aim. It's very satisfying to tap ZR a few times and watch a boss go down in an instant. It's one of those highly satisfying moments until you realize you're out of ink and a lesser salmonid's about to slap you with its drying pan. A wise man once said, "You miss every shot you don't take, and you won't get to take many of them if you miss with the first 7 because you panicked and spammed ZL. Mako Jordan, owner of Mako Mart." This charger's biggest enemy isn't the steelhead, even though it's gonna take 2 shots to splat it. And it's not the stinger, even though you run out of ink splatting it. Nope, the one salmonid that can and will splat you with ease when you have the modded bamboozler is the small fry. They're fast, hard to hit, and you probably used all 7 of your shots and only hit 1 of them. The Grizzco Slosher, by far the most underrated of the Grizzco collection. The Grizzco Slosher is capable of firing only 4 shots per tank, which will go in a straight line and then fall straight down once they reach their maximum range. This weapon runs out of ink fast and leaves you defenseless very often. And it's as slow as a dynamo, so most people don't like it. I was one of those people. But then there's those who absolutely love this weapon, so what about this weapon makes the Splatoon community so divided on it? All the people who dislike the Grizzco Slosher probably don't know about its special powers. This is the only main weapon in the game which can deal piercing damage. Shots from the Grizzco Slosher will ignore all salmonid armor, including the steel eel splash walls. Oh yeah, and they deal 360 damage each. Yes, this thing can only fire 4 shots, but you only need 3 of them to splat any of the boss salmonid. The best example is the flyfish, which you can one-shot with this weapon. Yes, you heard me right, you can one-shot this thing, some aim required. Once you realize how powerful this weapon is, you can't help but love it. With this simple bucket, you hold all the boss's lives in the palm of your hand. If anyone as much as look at you the wrong way, bam, splat it. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility, except this time it's on your teammates, to ink the turf around you and provide some crowd control. While this slosher is excellent for taking out every single boss salmonid, its slow shots aren't suited for splatforming and hitting lesser salmonid. You're left to rely on your teammates for turf control and protection, but let's be honest, most teammates don't have your back in Splatoon, and oh, they all had the Grizzco Slosher. No wonder we got wiped. Bonus tip, if you ever get stuck with the Grizzco Slosher and bomb launcher, you may think, well, I got the worst weapon and worst special in Salmon Run. Nope, you just got a free reload for the best boss slaying weapon in the game. When you run out of ink, just activate your special and your tank will be fully recharged in an instant. Plus, you get splat bombs to take care of the lesser salmonid and give you some sort of turf control capabilities. This trick has saved my tentacles more than a couple of times. So, which of the Grizzco weapons is your favorite? And are there any facts or features about these weapons that I forgot to mention? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. But wait, there's more! I've got an extra video for you about the steelhead that I just posted on Amino. If you want to check it out, just follow the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.